Disclaimer, this is not a top 9. This is a list of the worst weapons for each class in TF2 in class order. I'm not saying that each weapon is worse than the last. Hey everyone, this is Aiden, the Superior Rhyperior, and today I'm going to be looking at the 9 worst TF2 weapons for each class. First off, let's get some rules out of the way. Rule 1, no reskins, as they would be placed with the weapon they're a reskin of. Rule 2, no stock weapons. And Rule 3, only one and at least one per class. And now the judging questions are, is the weapon worth using over stock? Is it worth using over other unlocks? Does it give me an advantage over other players? If all of them are no, then the weapon's a fail. And lastly, I will provide balance change that I think could save the weapon, as what's the point of critiquing the weapon if I don't know what to do to fix it, right? Scout has some, interesting weapons in his loadout. From the Backscatter, a weapon that asks you for accuracy, even though it has an accuracy penalty, because that's not counterintuitive at all. To the Sun on a Stick, a rift weapon that's only useful if you have a pyro on your team or you're fighting one, which your team might not have. But the weapon that I singled out for the worst list is the Sandman. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Going from the Scout Melee to the Trash Scout Melee. Now, before, the Sandman would allow you to alt-fire launch a ball that stuns opponents, meaning that they can't use their weapon and they're slowed down a bit. Its new design, though, means that you can only slow them down. Only a little. Which means that you essentially have no advantages to that because they can still destroy you. How do I know they can destroy you? Because that you have a 15 health penalty with a weapon that does almost nothing. That alone is bad. And the health penalty is bad enough, but the fact that the upside essentially does nothing is just salt in an open wound full of battery acid. However, there is some saving the Sandman, though. Like, here's the stats I thought up. It still has the health penalty, it takes 3 seconds to recharge, but the ball disables the enemy's current weapon, and has different effects on the enemy's weapon if they are a special case, like detonates charge, or different ones for metaguns, like the Kritzkrieg's Uber charge being completely drained. I feel this would help the Sandman to shut down those guys. You know, when there's a demo medic combo just trying to pub stomp and ruin everyone's day with the Kritzkrieg without charges way too fast, and just spamming crit explosives. Yeah, those guys. I feel that the Sandman with those stat changes would be a great way to shut them down and get the game rolling and make spawn camping in those instances where they're spamming stickies into your spawn a little less painful. The Black Box. Now, the Black Box, it's totally the Bad Box, has become the most notorious crutch weapon in the whole game. Its stats show this off more than anything. Let's see here. 20% health on attack. And by that I mean only up to 20, meaning that's the max amount of health you can get. And you can get even less than that. And what's the downside? 25% clip size, meaning you sacrifice a quarter of your overall firepower just for the sake of getting 10% of your health back. That is really bad, because it's essentially nothing for a quarter of your overall damage output. That's why the Black Box has become known as just a crutch for soldiers who can't stay alive when their medic girlfriend isn't healing them, or pocketing them relentlessly. Like, seriously, stop relying on your medic. Just get good. But let's go over the stat changes I suggested, because really this thing needs them. So, first off is gain up to 50 health back, which I think getting a quarter of your health back, so a soldier has 200, is a much sweeter deal than just 20. Also, 30% damage resistance to make you tankier, and minus 30% heal rate to prevent you from being too tanky with a medic. Now, I feel this would help more because would less healing rates from medics actually help you? You know, less healing rate, more uber, uber equal good. But as it stands, this weapon's just a massive crutch for bad soldiers. The third degree. Many of you might be expecting the sharpened volcano fragment as, while it isn't very good on Pyro and is outclassed by several other melee weapons in his arsenal, I personally decided to pick the third degree because it does something the volcano fragment doesn't. It encourages you to use strategies that get you killed. The stats here say that all players connected via medigun beams are hit. Sounds great, right? Heck, you could take out both sides at once. Except you wouldn't just take him out with a single hit, and who would the medic even be pocketing that you could catch up with? Scout? He moves too fast for you to catch up with him, and the medic would move at the same speed thanks to the medigun speeding him up. And since scouts don't know how to stand still, that almost likely result in you going on a wild goose chase. Another medic? That would just result in a waste of time because the medic's no better at his job with a medic. Engineer? Heh, yeah. If you catch him near a sentry, it'll start shooting you, and guess what? The NG would probably start too, and the medic would just run away. Plus, NGs have dispensers for health. He doesn't need a medic. Sniper? Yeah, this isn't a payload stalemate. He wouldn't even let you get close. Spy? He would just be invisible because he wouldn't even have a pocket medic. He's trying to be stealthy. So, the only classes that a medic would usually be pocketing, and that you could even keep up with, are Soldier, Demo Man, another Pyro, and of course, Heavy. You know, this big guy. Now, let's go over all these matchups and see the only possible scenario. Demo Man, you hit the medic, both feel a pinch, both turn around, the medic runs away, he pulls out his demolition stuff, and now you have to reflect all the grenades and stickies coming at you. Soldier, you hit the medic, both feel the pinch, both turn around, the medic runs away, and now you have to deal with all the rockets that he's going to be slinging in your face. Sounds similar, doesn't it? The other Pyro, you hit the medic, both feel the pinch, both turn around, the medic runs away, and the power air blasts you away, meaning you've accomplished nothing. Heavy, you hit the medic, both feel a pinch, both turn around, the medic runs away, and the Heavy just decides to kill you right then and there because you cannot reflect bullets. Yeah, that whole dealing with medics at a melee range is a really bad idea, and more often than not, your flamethrower would just be a much better option for killing them, more specifically the backburner if you catch them from behind, which seems to be this weapon's ideal playstyle. Get behind the medic and hit him when he's healing someone, but, like I said, that will more often than not either lead to you accomplishing nothing or getting killed. But let's see what stats I came up with it. Suggested stats. Alt-Fire launches beam, not ball like the Sandman, that crits overhealed players with a base damage of 45. To me that sounds better because, I don't know, you can actually deal damage from a safe distance. Hey, it's better than what we got, and hey, at least it has a downside. Yeah, I think every demo main's going to agree with me that the Ullapool Caber is awful. Now, this weapon hurts. Like, its damage has been nerfed so much with the explosion on hit thing, with slower firing speeds, a 100% slower deploy speed, and the fact that, oh, I don't know, its damage does exactly 123 damage, meaning that you won't even kill a light class. Like, if it doesn't even kill a light class, what's the point? Plus, it's only one hit, so it'll be a straight downgrade from then on. Now, the stats I suggested are 1 hit kill. On a hit, the enemy with the enemy, you die too. Hey, if you're gonna go for a suicide weapon, you might as well go all out, and hey, it would actually be useful for taking out an important target with you. But this weapon is just sad. With how much it's been nerfed, it's no surprise that no one uses it. Also, this is the worst weapon in the whole game. By far. I'm serious. This is awful. The Warrior Spirit. Hey, look. Another weapon that I'm pretty sure everyone saw coming. Yeah, this has become despised by every heavy main ever, and is considered Heavy's worst weapon. And I agree. So, the stats here state that the weapon does 30% damage, but you take more damage. So, a damage bonus, just damage taken is increased, and I get 50 health back on kill? How great! Except, you're the Heavy. The one with 300 health, meaning 50 is suddenly a sliver of health, and you're too slow to catch up to anyone without the Gru. But oh wait! This isn't the Gru, this is the Warrior Spirit, which doesn't give you a speed bonus, meaning trying to catch anyone with your melee weapon is a futile attempt, as they'll just destroy you, seeing as, I don't know, you're a huge target running at them with a melee weapon, and it has a damage vulnerability. Yeah, doesn't sound so great now, does it? If this weapon was on any other class, I could excuse it, well, except for Soldier, but because it's heavy we're talking about, it's just awful. So here are the stats I came up with for it. Suggested stats, enemies drop full ammo packs when killed, as in their largest size. It's passive and applies to teammates as well, and only you and your team can pick them up. But you get some less ammo from all sources. 20 from ammo packs, 50 from dispensers. I feel this would be good because Heavy doesn't really have a melee weapon dedicated to support, which I think would be a nice change of pace for the big guy. The Pomson 6000. Hello, this is Dr. Godboard here, bringing you my latest, greatest creation yet. You'll remember the Cowmangler 5000, right? Remember how it's the best soldier primary ever? Well, fear not! The Pomson 6000, I made it similar to it in every way I could possibly, with just a few changes. Like, it cannot be reflected by pyros, it doesn't require ammo, and it drains Uber and Cloak by such a small amount, so that doesn't matter, just so it won't be too overpowered. But, to make it more like the Cowmangler, I reduced its clip size to 4, to slow its projectile to the same as the Cowmangler, and reduced its firing speed to that of the Cowmangler as well. Because if it's like the Cowmangler, that must mean it's automatically good, right? Also, it's not like just removing those stats and speeding up the projectile and maybe draining the Uber and Cloak rate will make it any better. Actually, it might. Ah, who am I kidding? That'll make it less like the Cowmangler. Hey, how'd this guy get out again? Uh-oh. Kids, you might want to look away. Dr. Godboard will be back in a few minutes. Yeah. Hey, no, what are you doing? No, hey, get him, no, let go of me, no! Ugh, this guy is absolutely crazy. Sorry for this guy interrupting your video. Please enjoy the rest of it. We'll get this guy back to the asylum. The Vaccinator. So, the Vaccinator is actually a pretty interesting weapon, and one that has a very specific use that can actually make the game more fun, but other than that, it comes up short compared to Medic's other mediguns. As you see from the stats here, the Uber rate is increased when the patient is hurt. If not, it's slowed. It also has less overheal build rate. Your Uber charge meter is broken into 4 pieces. But then we come to its main gimmick, which is that with one click of the R key, you can cycle between 3 resistances: bullet, fire, and explosion, giving you resistances to that specific source. Which you might think would be great if they're stacking one type of damage, right? Nuh-uh. You see, in tf2, you really won't be seeing anyone just stacking one type of damage. You'll always find multiple in a giant firefight. Like, say, you won't ever just encounter scouts, heavies, or snipers, the ones that primarily use bullet damage. You won't just encounter all soldiers and demo men, they use explosion damage, and you won't just encounter all pyros either. So, in reality, this leaves you wide open to getting destroyed by any of the other damage sources, and since the Vaccinator slows your heal rate down by a lot, that's really a problem. Now, the suggested stat changes I have are keep the old ones, but also just add plus 50% damage resistance from all sources so that you wouldn't have to keep cycling between them just to keep up, and that you will be not vulnerable to demo knights or spies, or let's be honest, you'd always be weak to spies. But the downside is the overheal rate penalty, but I feel that with the damage resistances being up for all damage sources, I think your teammates would have a much better chance of staying alive. Now, I do have to compliment the Vaccinator for one purpose. Or one purpose that's really, really good at making the game more fun and shutting down those aimbot snipers. Like, seriously, those guys who are spinning nonstop, getting insta headshots. Yeah, the Vaccinator is one of the best ways to shut them down, as you won't die instantly from one of their headshots, and you can easily take them out. And, speaking of sniper, PSE's next. The Classic. The ironically named newest sniper primary is sadly also his worst one. I guess you know what they say, weapon rot. Let's just look at the stats here. So, the stats here show that you can charge independently in or out of scope. However, you have to hold mouse 2 and then release to fire it. That already causes issues, as not only is your shot delayed, actually no, that is the main problem. Your shot's delayed, meaning that the enemy has extra time to get out of the way, meaning you'll have just missed a crucial headshot. Speaking of headshots, you also cannot get headshots unless it's fully charged, which I don't get why. All it forces you to do is stand still and wait for the charged meter to build up. And yeah, since you still are slowed down when charging up the scope out of scope, you're literally forced to stand in one place the whole time just to get a headshot, which might not even hit as your shot's delayed, like I said before. Also, that 10% body shot damage penalty doesn't help either. Now, the stat changes I suggested are shot charges automatically in or out of scope, removing that whole potentially missing because your shot's delayed thing. Also, I removed that whole, headshot restriction. It's just to more essentially keep you from standing in one place the whole time just to get a headshot. Though I'm keeping the body shot damage penalty to even it out. I think that this change would actually make it the Huntsman 2.0. A Huntsman that's less random and far more consistent, allowing Sniper to be way more mobile than usual, while not being overpowered as well. In fact, I think this could create a whole new subclass. The Ambassador. Here's yet another weapon nerfed into the ground in the Jungle Inferno update. This one used by both veterans of the spy and every pretentious spy main ever. Oh gosh, this one's so sad. So, if we take a look at the stats here, wrong slide. Thank you. Also, someone tell Smith over there that he's fired. Anyway, after that, as you can see here, it crits on headshot for 102 damage shot, but you have a 10% damage penalty, no random critical hits, which frankly doesn't matter. A slower firing speed and critical damage is affected by range. So let me get this straight. I get the chance to land tough to land headshots at the cost of firing slower and doing less damage to begin with, and I'm punished for doing that, as unless I'm at close range, which, if it's any competent damage class, like say Soldier, Scout, or Heavy, you do not want to do, and you'd just be better off using your knife anyway, You're essentially punishing me for even doing that by having it do less damage at longer ranges? Okay, great. So you're essentially just better off killing them with your knife anyway, which is a guaranteed kill, and while it's more risky, it'll pay off better in the long run. The stat changes I suggested are, get this, just a damage penalty, and that's it. Also, no random crits thing, but come on, that should be a given. That way it would be a lot more like the much superior Diamondback, and both would encourage skill growth in different ways. Like, the Diamondback would encourage skill growth in doing what spies should be doing, backstabbing, sapping set buildings, where the Ambassador would encourage more, well, higher level aiming, if that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I am Eden the Superior Hyperior, and thanks for watching.